Hi everyone. I wanted to share a message from my light beings from June 4th, 2020. And it starts out like this. This time is a great time for sorrow and disbelief on your planet. And so I'm like, oh man, when they start like this, I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I want to hear this, because I like hearing all the beautiful, magical, positive things. But it's taken me a while to see that when things start out this way, there's always a higher perspective or a just something that's coming up to show us contrast, to bring us or show us where we're going. So it is also a time of change and transformation. We are here to assist in the process of transcension. I don't know if that's a word, transcension, but in any way that we can help. This time on Earth is a way to get you from point A to point B. So I asked, what's point B? Point B is a place where we can all live peacefully amongst each other. Earth won't have the same purpose it once did. The planet is changing, and the people are changing, and the lessons are changing. The revelations that are becoming known now are uplifting the consciousness of us all. People on Earth are doing crazy things to be seen, heard, and recognized, and they will be. And we have to have patience with the ones who are not seeing. The ones who are not seeing are the ones not waking up, that are choosing to stay the same and run the old programming. They will perish in our existence and will not be one with us any longer. Okay, so let me explain this. That might sound a little scary at first, but I see this as like some people's vibrations are changing and others are staying the same. So you might notice like certain friends, maybe you're not quite vibrating with them anymore, and maybe you don't hang out with them as much anymore, and they just kind of are drifting further away, and you might just be saying goodbye to certain experiences, certain people that no longer match your vibration, and they'll be finding more of what fits their vibration in present time, and you'll be finding yours. But the word perish is often used when something sudden happens. I had to look that one up too. And so there might be something on the physical that ignites the change on the physical earth. But I'll get a little bit more into that in some other readings. So they say this is part B, or point B. You will see it is an end to unequal rights. There will be an end to fear, racism being a form of fear. It will be an end to deceptive practices, an alliance of people that will come together stronger than ever. That will defeat the system in place. We must protect the rights of our citizens of this world, our freedoms, and our transcendence. This is why we are here, to find our way amongst the chaos of the world. But at point B, there's less chaos, less structure, less ambivalence, less hatred, less fear, less bureaucracy. So sometimes I'll read things and I'll read them again, even years later. And I read it differently this time. And I even heard when they said racism, I also heard this as the way of like galactic races as well. So less fear around non-humans and other extraterrestrials as well. And that's what's great about rereading some of these things or re-listening to them sometimes, because you pick up on different information every time you listen to it based on, whatever mode or vibration you're in at the moment. So I ask, what shall we expect to see to get us there to point B? This will happen in many ways. The fear of others will be gone. One shall not expect the worst. We must expect the best. This is the world we are trying to create. Shattered worlds, people, societies, structures will be brought down in order to rebuild prosperously. Shame will be brought down on ones who have been shamed. Sometimes their wording is a bit weird, but I think it's just a way of saying, like, they could have put like any emotion, in there. I think it's just a way of saying like a mirror will be held up to people if people are, I don't know, shameful. I don't know. I don't know. It's just it's a weird word, but I think it's just a way of saying a mirror will be held up to people, and people will have to reflect on their actions and take responsibility for themselves. So you can kind of see even the energy, the vibration in like these are slightly different than from some of the other beings. It's like they're still the light beings, but you can almost like hear a slightly different voice in there. So, and I thought this point A to point B thing was really interesting because I had actually forgotten this came up, because in March of 2023, it came up again, and I had forgotten it had already come up years before. So, so I'm going to give you a little bit from a reading from March 2023 in here as well. Okay, so these transdimensional shifts that are going on right now made you a good fit for the transitions that are taking place on your planet right now. You don't need to fully understand your role on Earth right now. Oh, I had asked what my role on and off Earth was, so they were talking to me at that point. Okay, your role now is much more important, and it is to get people from point A to point B. So again, I asked, what's point A and what's point B? Point A is the transition point, and point B is where you will be transcending to. And where is that? I asked. The new Earth. What's the new Earth? I'm just kind of playing dumb here to kind of get them to explain it again, because all this stuff has the ability to change and different timelines, you know, come up, especially years later. And I like when I do readings or channelings, I always set the intention that I'm reading the most probable timeline, because the future is always changing. So yeah, so I want to see if the concept of the new Earth had changed in the last 3 years. Okay. So the new Earth is a new vibrational frequency that you will all be vibrating at after the poles shift. Interesting. The poles need to shift in order to bring in the full frequency needed for the ascension process to begin. We are in the process of that now. Dimensional and intergalactic shifts are happening now, but they are subtle and only a few can really feel this taking place. So I asked, what do the pole shifts do? They open up new portals for energy to fully come through. The Earth is ready to shift. It's waiting for the full alignment to be administered. And I love kind of hearing this stuff because it's the stuff I don't know anything about on the physical, so it's just fascinating to me. So apparently they say that the poles are shifting and it's opening up a new portal for energy to come through and align, which is going to help the Earth shift. So cool. So these next ones all kind of had a very similar theme of connection and unity. So I titled this one "Connection Always Is," because that comes up. So this one is from June 24th, 2020. When the next phase comes, we are all to be in alignment as one. If we unite, we can see our true colors, our colors of unity. A rainbow is more beautiful with all the colors. It's a full spectrum of visual light. When you see the big picture, you can create change. Change is what you need. Change will bring light amongst this planet. You are to be one with one another. This will help you see your true colors. Cool, I like that. So I asked, how do we do that on the physical? Connections are made with friends. More strangers will be friends. Be open to new relationships and connections. More people are going to be more open and wanting to establish relationships and connections. This is what brings unity and connectiveness. Be a friend to someone, whether it's in passing or long term. This creates love and raises the vibration. Connection is the answer. I like that too. Connection with yourself and connection with others. Be kind, be open, be generous. You can create a disconnect within when your focus is too much on others. Focus within and your answers will be met. Your answers on how to move through the world now and always. I love this. It always just seems to come back to connection. Going within and connecting to ourselves and connecting to others. That's timeless. then they go into what they were saying last time, which was like, be ready for turmoil. And I was like, oh no. And turmoil is a big disturbance. And like I said, it's like when they say words like this, it's never said in like a fear sort of way. It's always really neutral, and that it's not a bad thing. It's just energy. So they say it is happening. The shaking of mass systems of how you live, how you breathe, and how you move through life. I'm just recognizing that now when they say how you breathe, just because of all the, stuff in 2020. But a breakdown of systematic structure that once was all, a breakdown of systematic structure that once was all there was. Oh, all there was, okay. Be prepared for change amongst your people, change amongst the world. They say that over and over again. Heavy downpours of systems that need changing. The cries for help will be heard from the nations. Change is among us. The best thing to do is to witness this change, flow freely with it, and ignite your own inner awareness, and don't be a stranger to others. The connection with others is what will set everyone free. Again, love that. Connection with others is what will set everyone free. Connections enable people to let go of what once was as a whole, but also within themselves. You are all free. Yeah, so love that. You are all free, and connection is the answer. Here's a little bit more on connection. This isn't from my usual light beings. So this is from, oh yeah, I like this one. This is from February 7th, 2020. And this is from a new guide. She called herself Crystal, and she's called herself a connector of worlds. Okay, she says, many levels, many planes, many statures. I bring peace among the world and inner peace. I create connections with people, send guidance to all willing to listen. Your work begins and ends with connection. Connection is all. Connection to themselves. You all were brought here to cherish and make things grow. Your world will allow others the same opportunities, if ready to take it. Your job individually is to make the info available. Take your time with it. You will have everything that you need. Connection is like a time capsule. You can always go back to it. It never changes. And she said, this is when she says, connection always is. So I like that. Okay. She says, I was chosen for you to help make your world flourish. If your world flourishes, other worlds will flourish. Everyone has their own world, their own reality they choose to live in. So I like how she's making this connection between, yes, there's other worlds, out there, but also we create our own worlds. Our own worlds within our reality is our worlds, and we have the ability to create our own reality in our old world within us, what we think, what we feel, and around us. Okay, so everyone has their own world, their own reality they choose to live in. I help shift their worlds. I am there for anyone who is ready to shift their world if they ask. Everything is a world. A world is created. A world is the people and experiences that are always occurring. A world is how you take on and see all around you. Your world is your perspective, and it can always change, and I'm here to help. Okay. Connection involves the ability to strengthen oneself and be open to others. I'm going to read that again. Okay. Connection involves the ability to strengthen oneself and be open to others. Let go of judgment and be able to be inspired and excited by others. Oh yeah, I like this part. When you see the best in others, you see the best in yourself. Yes. When you see the best in others, you see the best in yourself. I feel like that's really true. That resonates for me anyway. When you are surprised by someone, it opens you up to be surprised again. The more you let in the inspiration from others, the more you grow. This is the way to expand. The people that come into your life are for you to learn and grow from. So use them in a good way, use them. You want to ask yourself, oh yes, yeah. So this is just something to kind of keep in mind, because I feel like she's giving us a way to talk to ourselves and ask ourselves questions when maybe wanting to connect with somebody, or maybe even wanting to let people go. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Okay. So you want to ask yourself, does this person feel pleasant to you? Do you want to be their friend? Do you want them to be there for you? If yes, move forward, meaning move forward in that relationship. Like, move forward in that relationship. If you feel turned off by someone, ask yourself if there's something to learn in here. Because sometimes, if something you're feeling kind of like off, about someone, sometimes it's time to, let's say, move away or something, but sometimes there's just something to learn in it. Okay, so if you feel turned off by someone, ask yourself if there's something to learn in here. If yes, move forward. Proceed with being open to their light and information without being triggered. Consider what you are triggered by and work on that. The more you are open to the experiences that come in, the more you will be able to see beyond what meets the eye. Somebody's playing some serious music back there. The more you are open to the experiences that come in, the more you will be able to see beyond what meets the eye. The bigger picture of connection and help that comes in. Often when people ask for help, a person will come in to help in some way, and you want to be ready to receive. Okay, so connection is all that is. Your connection with yourself, your connection with others, your connection with God, it's all the same. And again, sometimes they say God, universe, source, whatever you wish to call it. Being connected is all that is. Life revolves around connections and your experiences being connected. And she asks, are you willing to connect? Are you willing to prioritize your connection over the things that are disconnecting? When you are, real movement and growth and expansion occur. I think that's a really, really good question to ask yourself. Are you willing to be connected? Are you willing to prioritize your connection over the things that are disconnecting? I feel like I ask myself this every time I sit down to watch TV or, do anything else. So when you are ready when you are ready to start prioritizing your connection, real movement and growth and expansion occur. I feel like this is so true. And yes, it's easier said than done, but asking ourselves this question of, are you willing to prioritize your connection over the things that are actually disconnecting? When we can ask ourselves that, I guess that's the first step. Crystal, Connector of Worlds, when she was saying this, I kind of began to think about how connection is part of your intuition and your psychic abilities, right? So you have to be connected in some way to allow your psychic intuitive information to flow. So I asked, how do people know it's their intuition or something else? Because that's a question people ask me all the time. So what she says is, intuition is something that grows and gets stronger. When it is slight, it is a tingle. It's just enough to make you aware of something. Notice subtleties. When you continue to connect, that feeling grows stronger and it will become more familiar. That familiarity is important too, because it feels innate, like something that's always been you. When it is your intuition, it doesn't feel forced or abrasive. It is a gentle guidance or a sense of knowingness. Being able to trust this guidance, even if you don't want to listen, is a practice in and of itself. The biggest step is to be able to put your intuition first. When it is something other than your intuition, it feels heavier. You may be able to connect it to an emotion, and intuition does not feel like an emotion. It's more of a direction or knowingness. So thank you to Crystal for this Connector of Worlds, for this beautiful wisdom. And know that she says that you can call upon Crystal also if you want to help shift your reality, shift your world as well. And if anybody wants to learn more about psychic abilities and using your psychic abilities and intuition, I have a whole online psychic intuition class that takes you from the first beginning steps of connecting to your psychic abilities to taking you all the way through being able to do full psychic readings. So that's it for this time, and I'll see you guys next time.